In 1988, Baiyin City, Gansu Province, was a bustling industrial hub, alive with the clang of smelters and crowded workers' dormitories. Under the dim glow of streetlights, the streets echoed with laughter and the smell of burning coal. But on a quiet afternoon in May, a dark shadow crept over the city, sowing fear in its wake. On May 26, 1988, the peaceful Yongfeng neighborhood was shaken. A young woman, known as the girl in white shoes, for the white sneakers she always wore, was found dead in her small apartment. She was Liu Xiaomai, 23, a worker at the smelting factory. Her window was wide open, curtains fluttering in the breeze, and an unfinished cup of tea sat on the table. The police, led by the seasoned investigator, a sharp-eyed veteran, arrived at the scene that night. The crime scene was eerily clean. No footprints, no clear fingerprints, only one strange detail. Xiaomai was dressed in a bright red outfit, as if she were preparing to go somewhere. The investigator noted, the killer was swift, leaving no mistakes. This wasn't random, but who was he? And why Xiaomai? Whispers spread through Yongfeng. Some spoke of a thief, others of a ghostly figure lurking in the shadows. The investigator sensed this case was unusual, as if the killer was sending a message he couldn't yet decipher. The fear was only beginning. From 1988 to 2002, 8 more women fell victim. July 1994, Wang Xiaolan, 19, a textile factory cleaner, killed in her rented room near the power bureau. January 13, 1998, Yang Minzhou, 29, an office worker, found dead at her home on Shengli Road. January 19, 1998, Deng Xiaofei, 27, attacked on Shuichuan Road. July 30, 1998, Zhang Yuling, 32, and her 8-year-old daughter, killed at home, marking the youngest victim. 2000, Li Qingqing, 28, a textile worker, attacked at the factory district. May 22, 2001, Li Shang, 28, a nurse, killed on Shuichuan Road. February 9, 2002, Zhu Hongmai, 26, attacked at the Daolechuan guest house. All victims were young women, living alone or in isolated areas. A chilling detail emerged. Most were wearing red when attacked. Women in Baiyin began avoiding red clothing, and the streets grew silent after dusk. The killer, like a phantom, struck and vanished without a trace. Baiyin descended into panic. Markets, once vibrant, saw fewer young women. Parents forbade their daughters from going out after 6 p.m., and rumors swirled. He's a migrant worker. He might know the victims. Or even, he's a cop. The press dubbed him the Red Phantom, for his eerie fixation on victims in red. The investigator felt the weight of the community's fear. Each new case eroded public trust. We have to find him, he told his team, his voice steady but resolute. But with the limited technology of the 1980s, he knew the journey would be arduous. After Xiaomai's murder, the Baiyin Police Bureau mobilized all resources. The investigator led interrogations of hundreds, neighbors, co-workers, even passers-by in Yongfeng on the day of the crime. No one saw anything unusual. The killer blended seamlessly into Baiyin's crowded streets. Physical evidence was scarce. Fingerprints, faint prints were found on the window frame, but the 1988 database was too limited for matches. Biological samples, hair and bodily fluids were collected, but DNA technology was undeveloped, so they were stored. Crime scene clues, a small rope, possibly used to restrain the victim, was found at Xiaomai's home, but it bore no fingerprints or leads. The investigator suspected a male, aged 20 to 40, physically strong and familiar with Baiyin's layout. He ordered checks on all men in this age group in Yongfeng, but no viable suspects emerged. He knows how to hide, the investigator said, feeling like he was chasing a ghost. As the body count rose, the investigator realized these weren't isolated crimes. Patterns emerged. Victims were young women, living alone or in secluded areas. The killer struck in the afternoon or evening, when streets were quiet. He meticulously erased traces, leaving no witnesses or clear evidence. The 1998 murder of Zhang Yuling and her daughter was a turning point. At the scene, the investigator sensed the killer's brutality. He's not just killing, he told his assistant. He wants us to know he's untouchable. Public pressure mounted. Protests erupted outside the police station, demanding justice. The press called it Baiyin's shame. By 2002, when Zhu Hongmai was killed, the investigator, now in his 50s with graying hair, was weary from sleepless nights. He collaborated with the Gansu Provincial Police and the Ministry of Public Security, forming the Tuming 8.5 task force to investigate cases in Baiyin and Baotou, where similar crimes occurred. Theories included: the killer was a migrant worker, moving between cities. He might work in healthcare. Explaining his precise attacks, he acted out of psychological compulsion, with no personal motive. Each lead hit a dead end. In 2004, police publicized case details, offering a 200.000 RMB reward for valuable tips. Hundreds of calls flooded in, but most were rumors or false leads. The investigator began to fear the killer had left Baiyin, or worse, was still among them, hiding in plain sight. In August 2016, nearly 3 decades after the first murder, a breakthrough came unexpectedly. During a bribery case in Gansu, police arrested a man surnamed Gao. His DNA and fingerprints, taken during processing, closely matched samples from the Baiyin cases. Further investigation revealed he was the uncle of Gao Tianming, 52, a small grocery store owner at Baiyin's vocational school. The investigator, now retired but still following the case, was called back to assist. His heart raced at the news of the DNA match. On August 26, 2016, Gao Tianming was arrested at his store, calmly wiping shelves like an ordinary citizen. During interrogation, he lowered his head and said evenly, "I did it, all 11 cases." His confession stunned the team. Gao admitted to killing 11 women, not just the 9 documented, including cases in Baotou. "I couldn't stop," he said, his eyes vacant. It was like an addiction. Gao Tianming, born in 1964, was unremarkable to neighbors. Married to Zhang Qingmei, with 2 sons, he lived in a modest home near the industrial zone. Neighbors called him kind and quiet, often helping the elderly, but behind the facade was a monster. Background: Gao lost his mother young and grew up in poverty. He dreamed of being a pilot but failed, becoming a worker and later a shopkeeper. Personality: a gambling addict. He often abandoned his family, leaving them in hardship. He was violent, beating his wife when she opposed his habits. Motive: Gao claimed he killed to release his anger. He was drawn to young women in red. A detail psychologists later linked to childhood memories of his mother, who often wore red. Gao's methods were chillingly meticulous. He stalked victims for weeks, memorizing their routines. He broke into homes during quiet hours, often in the afternoon. After killing, he erased traces, sometimes moving bodies to mislead police. Stored DNA samples from the 1980s proved crucial. Advances in DNA technology by the 2000s allowed precise analysis. And China's national database, built from 2005, held millions of samples. When Gao's DNA was entered, it matched samples from Baiyin and Baotou perfectly. The investigator, seeing the results, felt relief mixed with sorrow for the cost of justice. In March 2018, Gao Tianming faced trial at Baiyin's People's Court. The case gripped the nation, with hundreds gathering outside. Prosecutors listed charges: murder, robbery, and immoral acts. They called Gao a monster in human skin, causing irreparable pain to victims' families. Gao pleaded guilty, offering no appeal. In a rare moment, he bowed in apology. "I don't deserve forgiveness. I just wanted to end." His empty gaze unnerved onlookers. On January 3, 2019, Gao Tianming was executed, closing a 28-year saga. The Baiyin case left a lasting mark on Chinese criminal history. DNA technology: without DNA analysis, Gao might have remained free. The case underscored the value of modern forensic databases. Persistence: despite nearly 3 decades, police tenacity and technological advances brought justice. Criminal psychology: Gao showed how killers can hide behind normalcy, challenging societal perceptions of crime. Victims' families, though comforted, carried unhealing wounds. "My daughter deserved to live," Yang Minzhou's mother said, tears streaming, "but at least he can't hurt anyone else." The case became one of China's 10 great mysteries, featured in books, documentaries, and online forums. The Red Phantom moniker stuck to Gao Tianming, but unlike mythical killers, he was unmasked. Baiyin, once a city of fear, slowly regained peace. Streets were fitted with cameras, and young women walked confidently under streetlights. Yet the story never truly ended. Each year, on the victims' memorial days, Baiyin residents light candles, a reminder that justice, though delayed, is worth fighting for. The Red Phantom saga is a long journey from fear to justice. What drives a man to become a killer? How can we prevent such tragedies? Thank you for following the Baiyin mystery. What do you think of this story? How will DNA technology shape the future of crime solving? Share your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling mysteries. Hit the bell to never miss a new video.